What's up everyone, it's a Knife Saw here, and today I'm going to be doing a battle of the blades between the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight and the Hogue Deka. So you might be questioning why I am doing this video, and that is just simply because these are both lightweight and simple EDC oriented knives. A lot of times the Para 3 Lightweight, when it came out, it was compared to the Benchmade Bug Out, and when the Hogue Deka came out, it was also compared to the Benchmade Bug Out. So I figured, why not compare these, because I don't own a Bug Out. But anyway, so let's get into the anatomy and the overall specs of this Para 3 Lightweight. We have a blade of CTS BD1N with a handle of FRN. It is a two-way reversible pocket clip with a compression lock. And onto the specs. It has an overall length, has an overall length of 7.27 inches with a blade length of 3 inches, a blade thickness of 0.14 inches, so it's a bit of a chunky stock on that knife, and it's got a weight of 2.4 ounces, and it's also coming in at $98, and by the way, both these knives are made in the USA. The Hogue Deka has 20 CV steel with these G-Mascus G10 handles. It is a two-way reversible pocket clip with a axis lock, or Hogue calls it their able lock. So both these knives are pretty much ambidextrous. The Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight isn't really ambidextrous for closing, but you still kind of can do that number right there. But anyway, both these knives are pretty suitable for lefties in my opinion. So, I never said the specs on the Deka. Overall length of 7.5 inches, so more length on the knife. Also more blade length, coming in at 3.25 inches. A thinner blade stock coming in at 0.1 inches. And a weight of 2.39 ounces. So, Para 3 Lightweight, according to the Blade HQ stats, Para 3 Lightweight is 2.4 ounces, and the Hogue Deka is 2.39 ounces. So very similar weight-wise, and the Hogue Deka actually has a longer blade. So if you go by that blade length to weight ratio, both these knives achieve that, which is a pretty cool thing. So on to the looks of these knives. Which one looks better? This is completely my opinion, and I'm going to say the Hogue Deka. A lot of people don't like coated blades, but personally, I think they look really cool. And the coated blade with the blacked out hardware and the camo pattern on this, I think it looks really nice. And while this knife just looks a little boring to me, just black and satin with satin hardware. And so 1 point for the Deka. Onto the design. While these are both very well EDC oriented designs, I think that the Hogue Deka wins this one because of how much thinner the stock is. The Alan Eliashwitz, the designer of this, obviously paid attention that this was not going to be a hard use knife, while this Para 3 Lightweight has a super thick stock, like it was meant to be a harder use knife when it's really just a super lightweight EDC knife. So the winner of the overall design of this, it was pretty close, but because of the thinness of the stock, I'm going to give it to the Deka. So on to the fit and finish, and this is going to be another win for the Hogue Deka. I honestly had no idea how this was going to go going into this video, but we are dead centered on the Deka right there. We are a little bit off-centered to the left on the Para 3 Lightweight there. There is a tiny bit of lock rock on this Para 3 Lightweight, while on this Hogue Deka, no lock rock at all. No side-to-side on the Deka, also no side-to-side on the Para 3 Lightweight. But I think another fit and finish issue is the inside of these liners are not knocked down at all, and so that's very sharp when gripping the knife in a strong grip. While on the Hogue Deka, these are completely knocked down, so another win for the Deka. So I had no idea how this was going to go going into this video, but the Hogue Deka's up 3-0. So on to the locking mechanism. This is a bit of an odd one because I honestly don't really have a personal favorite. It's basically the axis lock compared to the compression lock. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera there. And to be totally honest, I think the compression lock fits the Para 3 Lightweight a lot better. And the Hogues run on Omega springs, or I think it's a little bit stronger than Omega springs, but they still can break. And so for that reason, yeah, I'm probably going to give it to the compression lock. No real bonus, just based on a locking mechanism. But yeah, I'm going to give this one to the compression lock because it'll probably have less of a chance as breaking than this axis lock kind of thing from Hogue. But I've had no problems with this axis lock at all. So on to the blade of these knives. This is where it gets a bit special. So the big difference between these knives is the blade steel, to be totally honest. We have 20 CV on the Hogue Deka and CTS BD1N on the Para 3 lightweight. And I actually measured before. Both of these knives are 19 thousandths behind the edge at about their thinnest spot, so keep that in mind. There's no real bias compared to thickness behind the edge. I wish both these are thinner, and I wish maybe it was one a hollow grind. They're both flat grinds, but they are both equal on that part. So blade shape wise, I probably like the Para 3 lightweight blade shape more, but because of the fact that this has a much thinner stock and it is 20 CV, I'm going to give this one to the Deka. Even though they are both the same thickness behind the edge, and I said I like this blade shape more, but, you know, I don't really care. Clip point versus drop point, there is a little bit more belly on the clip point and a little less belly on this one, a little more access to the tip on the Para 3 lightweight, while a little bit less access on the Hogue Deka. So yeah, blade of this goes to the Hogue Deka because it is 20 CV. I have used this knife a lot, so I have had experience with that 20 CV, and it's held up great. And nothing wrong with BD1N, it just can't really compete with 20 CV at this level. So onto the carry of these knives. This carry here, I'll show, you guys can see not a deep carry pocket clip on the Deka, while we do have that deep carry wire pocket clip on the Para 3 lightweight. So these are both the same weight, but yeah, carry is going to go to the Para 3 lightweight just because I really like this wire clip and it sits right on this logo, so it slides in, it slides easy out of the pocket. This sits right on that G10, so it's not a pocket eater, but it is not as smooth going in and out of the pocket. The only real thing that the Hogue Deka has over than the Para 3 is that it's got a better carry profile, but as you guys can see here, it's got a better carry profile. But I basically just carry one knife in my front right pocket, so that's not a problem for me. So if we get a quick scoreboard check, the Hogue Deka is up 4, while the Para 3 lightweight has 2. So on to the ease of disassembly. This is it's a bit of a weird category because I usually don't like to say this going in when I haven't disassembled both knives, but I have disassembled the Para 3 lightweight, but not the Hogue Deka. And to be completely honest, the Para 3 lightweight is going to be much easier to disassemble. And that is just the fact that, look at all these body screws. Even though that might not be as very challenging, it's still, I think the Hogue Deka should get docked some points on that because you really don't need all those screws. I mean, I have no fear of this knife falling apart. If I only had 3 body screws, I wouldn't be scared at all about that. And the Para 3 lightweight was a pretty simple disassembly, so yep, a point to the Para 3 lightweight. So on to the ergonomics of these knives, and a lot of people are going to say, well, oh, it's a Spyderco, it's got to have good ergonomics, but I'm telling you, if you watch that original video on like my 1-year EDC thoughts on the Para 3 lightweight, I said that the ergonomics on this are not very good at all, and I am honestly going to stick with that. Like I said before in the fit and finish, the inside of these scales are not knocked down at all, and so when you grip down hard, it is a pretty much entire hot spot along your fingers. Also, this thumb ramp, it's honestly it's just plain and simple, it is way too aggressive. You do not need a thumb ramp like that. It feels fine when you're in the choke back position, but pretty much everyone cuts like this, and so it just feels like my thumb is locked back here. I don't know if that's an artery or a bone, I'm just going to go with artery, but that is locked and I cannot really move my wrist forward much at all. But if I'm choked back, the thumb ramp doesn't really affect me at all, and I can move my wrist forward a lot. I mean, you're not going to be doing chopping tasks, but still, you don't really like to be locked out very much. I like to have flexibility when I'm cutting something. And so the Hogue Deka is just much more simple. You got a finger groove and you got a spot to get all 4 of your fingers on. The jimping is actually where my thumb lands, and so that is also a nice thing. My only complaint with the Hogue Deka isn't really a complaint, but if this was flat right here, it would probably feel even better in the hand, but it is not, and so it still feels good in the hand, and it still feels better than the Para 3 lightweight. And so 5 points for the Deka, while we have 3 points for the Para 3 lightweight. So on to the deployment, and basically this will go deployment and then drop shuttiness. I basically did these so I could get 2 categories so I wouldn't end up with a tie constantly. But anyway, so the deployment of these knives. So this is a thumb stud while the Spyderco is a thumb hole. It deploys just fine, plain and simple. Usually in EDC tasks I thumb roll it, and that's just what I do. Para 3 lightweight, I do like playing with the spider hole a bit more. So yeah, I guess I give it to the Para 3 for deployment wise. And so yeah, Para 3 won for that one. And the Hogue Deka, let's see the drop shuttiness. You know, as more of I've grown more in what I like about knives, and I've kind of moved out of my whole drop shut action phase. A lot of times I would just only crave a drop shut action, but now I've cut myself multiple times with a drop shut action on my ZT0562, and so sometimes I just prefer something slower. So the Hogue Deka, I tightened it up to where it won't drop like this, and it'll just close plain and simple like that. Para 3 lightweight won't drop either, so it's just like that. So yeah, I'm closing it. It's gonna be a tie for these knives, so I'll just give both of them a point. So 6 for the Deka, 5 for the Para 3 lightweight. And that leads us into our last category, which is the value of these knives. So if the Para 3 lightweight wins, we tie, I guess. And so I don't want that to happen, but it wouldn't have changed this anyway. The value of this is going to go to the Hogue Deka. And I just want to make this clear. Just because a knife is more expensive than another knife does not mean that the cheaper knife will always win in value. And I bet you guys will understand me when I say this, that this Hogue Deka seems like it has so much more into the knife and you're getting so much more out of it. Now, I have no idea whatsoever. I don't think anyone does unless you're like an actual worker at a Spyderco plant or a Hogue plant or whatever, but no one knows how much this FRN scale costs. No one knows how much this G10 costs. No one knows how much a blade of this 20 CV costs. No one really knows any of that. But I know that G10 feels a lot nicer to me, and I know that 20 CV is a lot nicer than me. And so, basically, the price gap between these is $50. And so, I would much rather spend $50 more to get 20 CV and G10 than have plastic and CTS BD1N, and so that is why the value is going to go to the Hogue Deka. Argue with me all you want, but I think that this knife shouldn't be priced at $98. I think it should be at around $90, which is actually what I bought it for. And then Spyderco did their price increase, and so if they didn't do their price increase, Spyderco would have won the value, and this would have been a tie right here. But, you know, honestly, I can suggest the Hogue Deka a lot more to people. I know $100 to $150 could be a lot, it could be nothing, it just depends on the person you're talking to. But anyway, the winner of this Battle of the Blades is going to be the Hogue Deka. The categories that the Deka won were the looks, the design, the fit and finish, the blade, and the ergonomics. And so what I said a lot is I care about blade geometry and ergonomics, so I would personally, if you are a lot like me, I'd suggest the Hogue Deka. But let's say that you like a compression lock more, you like a better carry more, you like to take apart your knives, so you like an easier disassembly, and you like the flick, like the Spidey flick with the spider hole more. Maybe you'd like the Para 3 lightweight more, but the winner of this is the Hogue Deka. So sorry if I was a little choppy this video, it just felt a little weird, but that's gonna do it for the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment what you want to see in the future, or just don't comment anything at all. I really don't care, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.